Good evening, folks, and welcome to tropical North Queensland. We have another rivalry round clash on our hands tonight. The Brisbane Broncos travelling up north to take on little brother or big brother. I guess we'll find out later on tonight. The North Queensland Cowboys. Both sides desperate for a win. Yet to record one this season before the hiatus on 0 ladder points at the moment. If they want to get their season underway, tonight's as good a time as any. Justin Monkey running on the field there, the captain of the Cowboys, taking on his good friend Jack Carl, the captain of the Broncos after he defected in the off-season. That'll be a storyline to watch tonight, and I think whoever comes out on top there could go a long way to deciding this one. I am Sticko Balbroa, joined in the box by Blair Curtin. It's been quite a while, and we're glad to have him back.
G'day, Snicko. Absolute pleasure to be up in Townsville here with you. Bit of a rainy one tonight, I see. That might affect how the halves get the ball out as Levi Raymond squares up to kick off. I think one of the big questions is, after the hiatus, are we looking at an early round of spoon bowl in this game?
Yeah, you never want to call spoon bowl in round 3, do you? But the way this season's shaping up, it definitely could be. Speaking of halves and their game, the Broncos, they've rung the changes this week. Corey Bell back to fullback, has pushed Chaz Dingo into the halfback role, whereas the Cowboys, they're running out the exact same as they have all season. Chaz Dingo in the halves, Blair. What do you make of that?
Well, fullback primary's playing half is nothing new. KCK's played there a fair bit and has a fair bit of success, including an Origin win if memory serves. So it's not unprecedented, and you do need to be getting a lot of work out of your Platinum. But yeah, I got to question it. Chaz, he's the ding goat, and he's the ding goat at fullback, as we see a deep kick from Tyreek Hamilton, centre taking the kick early, a bit odd, and the run back from Dylan Sharp. Yeah, I'm not sure about this one. It's about as questionable as Blake Harris at lock.
Yeah, you got to look at the rep sides where I think Dingo plays at fullback and Corey Bell sits on the wing. So Jack Carl's decided he knows better than Sonny Ty, the Australian captain, and Will Kay, the Blues captain. So I think both of them run that kind of formation. And yeah, Blake Harris at lock. He was good last season to finish. Hasn't quite set the world on fire to start this season. But just like for Chaz Dingo, tonight's as good as any night for Blake Harris to sort of make his mark in this game. But you just got to wonder if he's going to get monstered by these big forwards from the Broncos. Jordan Lewis, the vice captain, he's been playing well this season despite their losses. And I know that he's very keen to sort of have a crack, and maybe Blake Harris is one person he can get on top of Blair.
Yeah, I mean, look, Jay Lou's the top bloke, as we see a very aggressive little dummy half run out of there from Bazinga. And Jay flicks it off, and bit of razzle-dazzle in the play despite the rain. Yeah, Jay Lou's an absolute beast. You know that he'll do some absolute damage, and we see a line break from Lucas Deuce. Interesting choice of fullback there from the Cowboys too, I think.
Yeah, I think their only option, though, if you have a look at their team list, they've gone forward heavy in terms of the salary cap. And so, yeah, it means Lucas Deuce is the fullback probably for the season for the Cowboys. He's going to want to improve sharply as this season goes on with the appropriate upgrades to get himself up to speed. And then maybe he'll be able to sort of have an impact as Eddie Lewis gets the early line break there. No relation to Jordan, I don't believe. Just a interesting namesake there for the Broncos. And now Simon Hunt gets the offload away to Chaz Dingo in the 7. So no sidestepping for Chaz Dingo tonight. And his kicking game, we'll have to wait and see how that one goes. I don't have a lot of hopes for it, but if anyone can sort of pop in there and do nothing, it's probably Dingo. As Simon Hunt gets a bit of a lane down the middle. The Broncos' early doors are looking quite good here. First Rio attacking set, they go to Jordan Lewis. He gets brought down, a good tackle there. I think that it could even be Blake Harris's opposite. They go left now. Callum Murray drifting backwards. A nice little play by Eddie Oliver to get right side and throw it left. Anyway, now I think that's Jack Carl sitting right of the right. That's where they go. He puts up a bomb. It's a touch shallow. But Levi Raymond comes down with it. And we should probably speak out of him as well, Blair. Levi Raymond in the centres. We saw it for the Wars last season. But if there's one thing I've learned, just because the Wars do it doesn't mean it's a good idea.
Well, you spent a fair bit of time in that sausage factory yourself, Snicko. Yeah, Levi Raymond in the centres is an interesting one. Might suit the half primary a bit better than playing lock. But centre's a very defensive position, and halves are not known for their strong defence, as Phillips makes a break down that, well, he made a break through Raymond's corridor.
Yeah, it's now
As
Lucas
Deuce
Deuce. That's a
throws-
bit of a line break. And Lucas Deuce is away here. No. Somehow he's caught from behind. Lucas Deuce not really doing what I thought he was going to do there. Anyway, it's put the Cowboys on the bit of the attack. The outside back's getting it done early. They're going to have a chance to kick here. Hunter tackled. So it's going to come down to either Blake Harris to kick it. Instead, it's Rohan Koval. He puts up a bomb pretty deep. If they catch it, they'll score. Instead, it's Dylan Sharp with a 7-tackle set. Not a whole lot of room for error there. And unfortunately for the Cowboys, a promising set's turned into a 7-tackle for the opposition. And Caleb Jeff gets a big bump off underway to start. Who do you have early in this game, Blair?
Absolute barnstorming hit. It's a little bit hard to tell as Jordan Lewis makes another break 40 metres up the field. Probably Broncos just on a matter of field position. But one thing I've noticed a bit consistently so far is some somewhat lame ends to stats. I really think the Cowboys going to the pocket there was a mistake, as Oliver with a cheeky little dart out of dummy half himself there. I actually think the halves should have squared up into the line and tried the grubber there.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing the opposition half square up, a bit of a to and fro. Maybe we can get the crowd involved up in Queensland if there's a bit of a melee. But no, you're right. They're playing a bit laterally at the moment, not really getting to the line, either team. And now Cahill puts up yet another bomb. The bat-back's there, but there's no one there for it. Instead, it's Jordan Lewis who runs back and gets it. So Corey Bell's missed the assignment there. I think it might have even been him who got up and batted it back. That's definitely an opportunity missed for the Broncos. We'll have to see if it haunts them as the game goes on, as Caleb J comes in field and beats one. Yeah, Jack Carl, not known for his kicking game, but he's going to have to shoulder the burden of that tonight with Chaz Dingo in the 7. Do you think he's up to a Blair?
I mean, you know, Carl can kick when he's on his day. It's just not his day very often. With Dingo in the number 7, I expect that the instruction from Carl will be, you're the running half, get up into the line, get that late ball away, let me worry about the kicking. Juice makes a very lovely little break there to be brought down by Corey Bell. I'm just really questionable on the thought of going Dingo in the 7 jersey in any event. I'm just not sure that's his best position. And I just think they'd be better served with Dingo at 1 and Bell at 2.
Yeah, and then that pushes Dylan Sharp to 5. So it means they have 3 tasty kick return options. And it doesn't really matter where the Cowboys kick. They're going to have to man up and make their tackles. But Jack Carl is the Broncos captain. I suppose we'll just have to trust that he knows what he's doing, because this is the kind of call that could make or break a season, really. Anyways, Dingo there, he is ball playing out to his halves partner, Carl. Brought down about 35 metres from the Cowboys line. They'll have a punt here, and hopefully they don't go left again, because Levi Raymond's been a turnstile. That's exactly where they go. So right out to Lenny Phillips, left with the Cowboys, and Levi Raymond there chases his own kick and makes a good tackle. But for the first time in quite a while, the Cowboys are sort of working it out of their own half with a bit of field position. They should cross the 50 with a nice run here, assuming there's no funny business. He goes to Blake Harris, and he goes out to Allison, and that's them over halfway for the first time in quite a while. So the Cowboys now getting a bit of field position. Monkey ball plays out to Tallis Rip, who gets absolutely leveled by Caleb Jeff. Tallis Rip, he's been around for quite a while now. He hasn't got many hits like that. Caleb just put a good one on him there. And now it's Blake Harris tackled on the 5th for the Cowboys. They're going to have to punt as well. Both teams sort of just working the way, and that's a bit of a shocker from Aaron Hunter. Comes off the head of one of the Broncos, and Jack Carl cleans it up. And you said it earlier, Blair, the end of sets have been meek, and that hasn't really improved so far.
No, it hasn't. I think that was a little bit of a shank there from Hunter. And look, while I can sympathise, I can definitely speak of quite a bit of experience shanking kicks in the halves myself. I just don't, it's just not really great against the sets. There's no real pressure in this early set. And we just see the Broncos kind of stroll over halfway again, and Callum Murray gets to the 30 in the end as we hit the end of another set.
Yeah, the 2 props in the lock of the Broncos, Murray, Jeff and Lewis, have all had big runs so far in this half, and they're doing a bit of damage. Now Caleb J goes straight past Corey Bell. Caleb J ankle tapped eventually by his opposition centre, and Corey Bell gets him on a second go around. That's very lucky for the Broncos because that was almost a try. Now they go left. Out to Rohan Caval. What's he doing out there? Getting pushed out. That's what he's doing. The Cowboys, they got to be excited there. A good run from Caleb J. And then unfortunately, Caval was made the error. I don't mind the short side play. He just had to angle himself in a little bit more, I feel, because when Anthony Lee got in, there was nowhere to go except for out. And yeah, that's a real miss shot there for the Cowboys.
Yeah, it was. It's the second time they've gone for this short play. The first one was after the Levi Raymond kick. So maybe they've identified a bit of weakness on the edge there from the Broncos. But Corey Bell as well was in that tackle and, yeah, just came in really well to cut that off.
Yeah, back-to-back try savers really from Corey Bell after he missed the first one. And that is a shocker from Eddie Oliver. Forward pass out of the ruck. Unfortunately, we don't see that. Unfortunately, we do see that relatively often when they go that little short side play. The hookers just don't get over the advantage line. They throw the ball forward. And it means that really the Cowboys are back where they were a couple of plays ago. Early tackles in the Broncos half. And they're going to look to sort of make the most of it. Maybe crack the scoreboard for the first time tonight. As they go out to Blake Harris, he'll be looking to really inject himself into this game. Yet to really see him have an impact 20 minutes in. They go right again. Aaron Hunter, sticky fingers. He had a shape outside him. Instead, he squared up and went straight, but he did draw in a couple of defenders here. So if they spread it left the Cowboys, there might be a chance for him. Instead, it's Jackson Allison, another man who doesn't want to pass it. He's brought down about 5 meters from the line. A good kick here, you could see some points. They go right to Aaron Hunter, and he puts in a grubber, picked up by Levi Raymond, and he's into the backfield, Levi Raymond. He got the ankle tap, and he's away, but unfortunately, without that 99 speed, he's brought down on about the 40-meter line, but it's still a good place for the Broncos to start their set as they work the short side themselves now. Out to Dylan Sharp. He gets a ball inside of Jack Cahill. This is champagne footy, Blair.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think that was the best set to end it. Oh, Riley Holmes makes a break now as well with the subs on the field. And we just seen a little bit too much meters in the centre from the Broncos, or conceded by the Cowboys, I should say. When the Cowboys have made breaks, they've tended to be along the edges. As Cole attempts a push over here, but he's flipped on his back.
Yeah, I think you're right. You definitely say the Broncos have had the running of the forward pack tonight. And yeah, Riley Holmes onto the field and straight away, straight up the guts. I think they had 3 back-to-back line breaks, which is not looking good for the Cowboys. They finally had an attacking set and they conceded 100 metres off the back of it. Anyway, it's Dingo who puts up a bomb, and this is a well-placed one. But Caleb J's underneath it, pushed back into his own in goal for a line dropout. A bit of sustained attacking pressure for the Broncos. Could this be what cracks this Cowboys team? Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. I tell you what, Aaron Hunter, not a tall man.
No, he might even be shorter than you, Snicko. But I do like these last 2 sets. The last one from the Cowboys and the last one from the Broncos have been the 2 best ends to sets we've seen all game. As Jordan Lewis, I think he had a crack at throwing the fan there, but he's brought down. And so if the halves are starting to dial in and they're starting to get those attacking kicks away well, that kick from Hunter was the right kick, just the chase wasn't there. As Holmes bumps one off. Just easy meters for the forwards, relatively speaking. This could be interesting, and I think we might see our first point soon.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on Jack Kyle here. They've got him in position. What can he do with it? Instead, it's a little short ball to Riley Holmes, and he won't be able to do anything with it. That's a bit of a shocker. We spoke him up about how the end of sets are coming together. Yeah, and they just said, we'll prove you wrong right there, because that was not it. As now Pretlove takes probably his first hit up of the game in the 12 tonight. He's been in the 11 previously last season, maybe this season, I'm not sure, but in the 12, probably playing 80, just got a tackle botted up tonight. And against the speed of Justin plays in the 11, you think he's going to have a big job in his hands. As Windmill skied, he goes for a bit of a run. He's been unsighted as well so far, just shoveling the ball at the moment out at hooker. But we'll probably see him run as the game goes on, as Caval takes a run himself. And it feels like the Cowboys, they just need a bit of a line break from one of their forwards. Instead, it's going to be Blake Harris with the 40-20. He goes absolutely nowhere. And Dylan Sharp's down with it, and he's going to get a bit of a lane here. He was brought down about 20 metres from the line. Blake Harris, they moved him out of the halves to stop him kicking. And that's exactly why, because he's put the Broncos right in the attack now. Justin plays on the 10-metre line. Feels like this is about the 10th minute straight of the Broncos attacking the Cowboys line. We'll have to wait and see if they can do anything. He goes out to Corey Bell, and just like that, ring the bell, ding dong. The Broncos are over for first points tonight.
Yeah, that was just all a little bit too easy there. Corey Bell does run a nice shape, though. Gets outside the man at centre and puts it down, but just the defence was never quite there. The ball always just came out, shoveled out that second before the tackle hit. Cowboys had 3 opportunities to cut that off, and they failed to nail any of them.
Yeah, it was a nice interchange of passing between the Broncos, but you're 100% right. The line speed from the Cowboys just wasn't there as Raymond misses that conversion. That's unfortunate for them. That would be his preferred side with that left-to-right bend, but unfortunately, that's a miss, and the lead will stay at 4 points. And perhaps this is a chance for the Cowboys to reset. They've been playing a lot of footy in their own half. Maybe with a good defensive set here, they can force a kick return and try and make some magic happen, because at the moment, it's been all Broncos so far in this game.
Yeah, aside from that one grubber from Aaron Hunter that the Broncos successfully diffused, all the momentum has been with the Broncos, and that's a very odd pass to Riley Holmes first up. Not sure what happened there.
Yeah, he got on the bounce, I'm pretty sure. So good hands from the interchange forward as Cahill goes short ball to Simon Hunt. Another man who was at the Cowboys last season. There's a few of them in this Broncos team. You can understand why they're the rivalry round matchup, because there's bound to be a bit of feeling between these two. As now Jack Kyle goes short ball to Riley Holmes, bounces off his head before he's brought down with it. They might line up for a 40-20 here. Yeah, it looks like they want it. Jack Kyle sitting very deep. And he hits it not very well.
That's always a mistake.
Yeah, but Lucas Deuce misjudged that one and let it go over his head. Now he's into the backfield. Lucas Deuce breaking a few tackles. He's yet to ice one, but he's had a couple of line breaks early. He could be very dangerous as this game goes on. As now Lenny Phillips goes for a bit of a run. The back three of the Cowboys have been pretty good so far. It's just the 8-13 haven't yet come to the party as Caval takes it. And so this said, it's third tackle. We had to see a 4 take a hit up. One of them needs to roll up their sleeves and get to it. They go to Sonny Sharp. He goes inside to Lucas Deuce, beats one before he's brought down. A good tackle there from the Cowboys. 22 metres odd from their line. Can they get into attack and kick territory? It's Eddie Devon who's pushed backwards there, so it looks like they're probably going to have to bomb.
You know, just on that, as we see Caval put up an absolute stinker of a bomb, the Zingers come down with it, but it will be a handover. I was thinking on that for a moment. Have we seen a Cowboys forward make a line break so far? You know, with the Broncos, we've seen J-Lu, we've seen Callum Murray, we've seen Riley Holmes make a line break with his first run, and Caleb Jeff made a decent one as well. But none of the Cowboys forwards at all have jumped out at me as having made a line break in this game.
Yeah, no, I can't recall one either, and that's exactly why the Broncos just seem to keep making their way into opposition territory, whereas the Cowboys, unless they get handed the ball, they just can't seem to get close enough to put in a grubber or have a little barge over try. As Riley Holmes plays a short ball out to Justin Plays, and he breaks one. He's into the backfield. Justin Plays. He gets the offload away to Jordan Lewis. Some good football from the Broncos, puts him in field position to make something of this fifth tackle option. It goes to Chaz Dingo, and he puts up the bomb. Very nicely placed. Bell's there for the bat back. He takes it, Corey Bell, but he can't get over the line. A sterling tackle from the Cowboys. I think that the number 11 could have been the halfback. I'm not sure. The 5'8", sorry, I'm not sure. But whoever it was has done a great job on Corey Bell there.
Yeah, that's a very dangerous position there to be facing Corey Bell in. But you got to ask the question, does Dingo maybe get that ball down?
Yeah, one thing we've noticed sort of over the last season and a half in the SRL is that they used to be an automatic try, and now our defences are starting to get good enough to stop that one. And yeah, the top tier fullbacks, they do still convert sort of 90 times out of 100. And Dingo certainly would. So yeah, the question is, would Chaz Dingo get that down? But then again, Corey Bell is not too shabby himself, and if there's an opportunity, he's probably going to sniff it out. Once again, the Cowboys are going to have to kick from deep in their own territory. Yet to see a forward make a line break, like we said. And it just means that Eddie Lewis now gets a bit of a break. But a good tackle there from Jazz Bazinga, I believe, traps him and stops any kind of big momentum off that line. Off that kick return, sorry.
And one thing else that I'm noticing from the forwards is that the Broncos forwards, even when they're not breaking, they're at least bending the line as Eddie Lewis makes a break there from the... Oh, and he throws an intercept to windmill ski. Wow, that's... rush of blood to the head there, I think, Snicko.
Yeah, you're not wrong. He's just the rookie winger, and he's had a few line breaks this game, but unfortunately just then didn't quite ice that one as Caleb J goes down the sideline. And you're right. It seems like the Broncos forwards are sort of finding their front and getting quick play the balls, whereas the Cowboys are getting driven back on the regular. Like, look at this one here. Tallis Riff, just two-man tackle monstered, ends up 2 meters back from where the contact was. And if the Cowboys can fix that and get a bit of momentum, that's a really nice short ball and an offload away to Sonny Sharp, and he pushes forward nicely. And so maybe they're going to have a chance to kick this one. The Cowboys are putting in a bit of pressure. It goes to Aaron Hunter, and he clean drops it. Aaron Hunter not having the game that he probably wants at the moment.
Probably not, aside from that one grubber, which was a beauty. He's had a bit of a dog of one so far. He had the right thought there, but that Broncos line was just up on him a little too quickly as Bell steps one and makes a break. Wrestled down there by Lucas Deuce. Yeah. Aside from that one really nice grubber where the chase wasn't there, he just hasn't ended the sets particularly well. A couple of fairly ineffectual bombs, a couple of shanks, and now a cold drop as well.
Yeah, it just makes you wonder, where is Rohan Kaval? He's their 6. He's meant to be doing the kicking. Tonight, though, it seems like Aaron Hunter's taking over, and not to great effect. So maybe a little halftime pep talk from Justin Monkey where they just say get involved might have an effect, as we see a double knock on here. Not something we see too often in the SRL, but it means the Cowboys get to play the ball, and this will probably be their last set with the ball for the half. Caleb J is brought down with it just shy of his side of halfway. Kaval now works out to Eddie Devon. He's worked hard since he's been on the field, but hasn't quite had an impact. And whether he comes back on after halftime or not, I think he'll want to be improving for next week.
Yeah, and I mean, but who in the Cowboys scrum pack have? You know, he's one cog in a machine, but that machine is currently malfunctioning.
Yeah, and that's probably the best run from a forward. That's probably the best run a Cowboys forward has made tonight. And so it means that the Cowboys have a chance to go across the field. And so Eddie Lewis has a bit of space again. And where he's weaving and getting through a couple of Eddie Lewis. Is he going to go out? No, only just. So a minute left in this half. The Broncos props run on for a bit of a stint. Corey Bell gets it. Man, he was away there. There was no fullback at home if he could slip through that. Instead, he's brought down just his side of halfway. So the Broncos will want to get moving here. Dingo now brought down. Another former Cowboy. So there is a few in this game. They go left here. Callum Murray takes it. He's brought down. 45 out from the Broncos line, from the Cowboys line. This will just about be the last play of the game. But they play it just. Eddie Oliver goes to Justin Plays and he's tackled there. So we're going to halftime. 4-0 to the Broncos. More to come. Welcome back, folks, to a dour affair up in North Queensland. The rains really dampened the attacking flair of both teams. Led to just the 4-0 score at halftime. But I have faith that this game's going to pick up. Maybe misplaced. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, Blair had a look at the stats at halftime. What can you tell me?
Well, Aaron Hunter's been better with the boot in hand than we first thought, making 157 off his 5 kicks as Murray gets absolutely folded. Eddie Oliver being hooked at halftime as Simon Hunt makes a break and throws an immediate intercept to Mario McConroe. Seems to be the full comedy of errors here today, both sides having 3 apiece at halftime, and Dingo having an uncharacteristic error himself.
Yeah, the life of a half, and probably the Cowboys' best attacking chance. Wow, and Jet Davis, fresh on the field, is going to score. The rookie centre. He's been what the Cowboys needed all along, apparently. The Broncos are just folding like wet paper at the moment. Probably their first real kind of sustained pressure, and it was only a couple of tackles. Anthony Lee couldn't make it. And the Cowboys with a chance to snatch the lead here, and really, that's come out of nowhere.
That last year is an error followed by 2 tackles, truly sustained pressure. Scores squared up and the opportunity for the Cowboys to go in front. Been a bit of a dour affair so far this game as it stays a little more dour still with that conversion missed.
Tense. We'll call it tense.
Yeah. And just after I said that Hunter had done better with the boot than we'd first thought too. Seems to be the commentator's curse up here.
I'm not sure if he's done better, if he's just had more opportunity. Either way, he can definitely improve, is what I would say. And I think, Rohan Kaval put out the Amber Alert. I think he needs to get his kicking game back on track because he could take a bit of pressure off the young rookie. And the Cowboys now will be looking to have a better stint off the kickoff than what the Broncos did. Maybe if they can make it 3 tackles, that'll be an improvement. Anyways, Kaval now gets in place of short ball to Mario McEnroe, and it was his big hit off the kickoff that sort of set the tone for the Cowboys. Maybe a bit of momentum has shifted with that one as Caleb J goes for a bit of a run. On the third tackle with the Cowboys, just shy of the 40-metre line, they go Blake Harris. He goes to windmill skeet. And you mentioned Eddie Oliver hooked at halftime for Matt Galaxy. I think that's been a pretty common interchange for the Broncos. Both hookers getting 40 minutes. Eddie Oliver might even come back as a prop. I'll have to wait and see. Anyway, a good set after points from the Cowboys. They've gone the best part of 60 metres from it. Kaval goes downfield. Good to see him kicking. And it's Dylan Sharp who takes it. Dangerous on the kick return as always, Dylan Sharp. He scythed through there before he hit Lucas Juice at fullback. Do you think the Cowboys are going to muscle up in the forward pack, Blair, or do you reckon the first half trend will continue?
Hard to say, but if the Cowboys don't muscle up and McEnroe's really sort of put that statement of intent out early, then I think it might be a long night in the office for the Cowboys as Bell gets absolutely monstered there and held down for some time. Hopefully Monkey gave his team a bit of a spray at halftime. They certainly needed it, and hopefully that spray will have given them some starch.
Yeah, they certainly responded, didn't they, as Jordan Lewis kicks downfield. The big hit from McEnroe was good. And now Lenny Phillips now. Past Corey Bell, Lenny Phillips, there's 3 of them around. Yeah, he's just running out of room there, Lenny. Didn't have the pace to outstrip any of them, so just went for as many metres as he could. He was good in the first half, almost a leading run meter for the Cowboys. And he's had a couple of good runs already in this second half. So Lenny Phillips starting to put a bit of authority on this game. Sorry, minor teething issues, but we're back as Windmill Ski goes out to Talis Riffin. I think I was saying Blake Harris hasn't had a line break yet, and when you play that 85 speed lock, you want to see him sort of get some meterage and really tear the opposition to shreds. So yet to sort of see that. He's only got 18 minutes left in his stint. Maybe he's just backloaded. He's really going to go crazy, but if he doesn't, not good for the Cowboys. As now Kaval puts up a bomb. It's a pretty shallow one. Jet Davis comes through and takes it, so that man's on a mission tonight. 2 touches, and both have been good. One thing about the midfield bomb, Blair, is it takes out the opportunity for a big kick return, but not that it matters. Eddie Lewis goes for a bit of a run anyway. And does he go out there? He does. So back-to-back errors from the Broncos. Not sure what happened at half-time, but not good.
They must have snuck some NyQuil into the Oranges at half-time and seems to be taking effect on the Broncos. Yeah, not a very good start from them. 2 really unforced errors, you'd have to say, and it's just really letting North Queensland back in this game. It's a pretty parochial home crowd up here. We've all heard the booing every time the Broncos touch the ball. So if North Queensland really managed to wrest control of this game from the Broncos, well, it could be the Brisbane who are in for the long night at the office.
Yeah, certainly. And one thing Brisbane have done well is they've defended their error so far. 3 tackles, and the Cowboys have gone absolutely nowhere. They just need one of their forwards to really make an impact. And it's Mario McEnroe who does it. 9 minutes on the field and probably the best Cowboys forward across the whole game so far. So good things coming in small doses for the Cowboys as they go right now. Aaron Hunter plays the ball out to Blake Harris. Can he get over? No. Push backwards here. It'll come down. I think that's Rohan Kaval in the pocket who's going to kick it. Can he put in some sort of kick? No, he's going to score himself. Rohan Kaval. Nathan McCrory just played the Aaron Woods NPC, ran up past the ball. And Rohan Kaval take full advantage and not looking good now for the Broncos.
Yeah, the Broncos defensive line guilty of a bit of preemption there, I think. Playing the... Oh, geez, that is a face only a mother could love. As Kaval puts the ball down, and this one is straight in front. Seems that Hunter's been withdrawn from the kicking duties, and Kaval will take this shot at goal. But yeah, the Broncos defensive line just playing for the kick that never came.
Yeah, they're just a bit disconnected, unfortunately. A few of them moving up and then a few of them not. So I left a big hole for Rohan Kaval, and he's way too good to miss that kind of opportunity. He also didn't miss the kick, so that's a 6-point game here in this one. The biggest lead of the match, and it's the Cowboys. If you watch the first half, you might have called this one unexpected, but we were speaking briefly at halftime where we sort of thought maybe the Broncos missed a few chances and they could have put a few more points on in the first half. And the Cowboys are doing exactly that when they get the field position here. So they'll be looking to get another good set after points and sort of bring this one home. Who do you think needs to stand up for the Broncos?
Right now, it needs to be the captain. Jack Carl just needs to get his team in line. The situation will shift. The Broncos will get some ball at some point during this half, and he just needs to grab the game by the scruff of the neck and get his forwards back into it. The Cowboys forwards were monstered during the first half. The Broncos have a very powerful forward pack, and if the Broncos can get their forwards on top, then they can get this one back in the bag. But yeah, 57% of the ball and only 4 points to show for it in the first half. The Broncos haven't taken their attacking opportunities particularly well.
Yeah, that's 100% right. And not a great kick there from the Cowboys as it invited the Broncos back into their half. And maybe this is a chance for them to sort of square up their attack as Callum Murray gets a line break. He's been good for 1 or 2 of those a game all season, and no different tonight. A nice little run there from Callum. Put the Broncos, at least they'll have a chance for a kick, if not sooner, as Corey Bell. That's one man who can score a try. So I'm not sure how, with all the position, he only scored 1. Anyway, they work right side the Broncos. Little short side play to Ant-Man. He's brought down about 11 from the line. There's a few stacks short side, but surely they go open. That's what they do. Jordan Lewis gets and he puts up a very well-placed bomb. But Lenny Phillips is underneath it, and he breaks a couple. Lenny Phillips breaks more than one Lenny Phillips. A good run there to get him out of danger. It looked like for a while he was going to be pushed back for a line dropout. Instead, he's tackled just short of the 20. So the Cowboys, they're doing everything right at the moment.
Everything, but they're not making a huge amount of meters so far this set. As Monkey gets wrapped up and pushed back, the Broncos have a bit of a sniff of it now. I think they're thinking if we can just get this set wrapped up nicely, we'll be in a good position here. It's 4th tackle. They're on the 30. They maybe go for the Hail Mary 40-20 here.
No, instead they go out to Tallis Roof just for a couple more meters. One thing that hasn't been good tonight from the Cowboys is their long distance kicking. So whether or not they can do something here, that's not too bad for Caval, but just because of field position, Corey Bell's going to get back to at least well over halfway in the end. Brought down by Lucas Juice, and the Broncos, they're just sort of inching their way closer and closer. They go out to Justin Plays, and he's brought down on the 30-meter line. Perhaps we see the hooker Makalaxi go for a bit of a dart. He's fresh on the field. Instead, he goes all the way out to Dylan Sharp. Is he going to be taken out here? No. Very, very close, but no cigar for the Cowboys. They go right now to Jordan Lewis, and he goes right to the line before he passes to Murray. I'm not sure who made that tackle there from the Cowboys, but it was quite a good one in the end. 4th tackle now. And they go to Levi Raymond out of half, doing a bit of damage. They're going to have a chance to kick the Cowboys and the Broncos, and put the Cowboys under some pressure. They go to Cahill, puts in a grubber. It's a good one, dived on by Jordan Lewis. Leadership team doing the works there for the Broncos, and just like that, they're back in this game.
Well, it needed to be Jack Carl who stood up, and what a try celebration. It needed to be Jack Carl who stepped up, and Jordan Lewis, his vice captain, finished it off. Great leadership from the boys out there.
Yeah, 100%. Unfortunately, the Cowboys just couldn't defuse that one. But it's sort of I wouldn't call it repetitively bad kicks, but they just haven't been able to put the Broncos deep in their half off the back of a kicking game. And so it just meant that set by set, they were having more and more cracks at the line. And eventually, they were going to score. It was just a matter of time as Raymond's going to look to put this one well over the black dot, as he does. So a tied game here with 24 minutes left in this one. Rivalry round has finally come to the party. They've started to play here, the boys. And we're not in field goal territory yet, but give us another 10 minutes and we might be. Who do you think can kick it from either side?
Well, again, it's Caval and Carl, right? They're the 2 primary kickers for their side. Levi Raymond's got a cheeky one in him, though. and I think Blake Harris has decent kicking stats too. But Harris won't be on the field, of course. He'll go off at the 65th. So I think it's Cabal or bust for North Queensland.
Yeah, I think the first question is, did Blake Harris come on the field in the first place before he runs off? We're yet to see him have an impact, and probably Jordan Lewis as well. They sort of tied each other up. No one really able to make sort of big line breaks that a lot could make in this game. They've negated each other, I guess you could say. Maybe 7 minutes left, one of them can have a crack. It's Callum Murray, another line break, straight through the middle. The Cowboys props and lock and hooker have just been so loose that those middle four defenders, as Corey Bell's brought down, and they just haven't been in sync at all. And it's been telling with how the Broncos have just waltzed through there, as they're going to have to punt now, the Broncos. They go to Dingo, and he puts in a nice kick downfield. That's all the Cowboys have had to do, and they just couldn't do it the last couple of sets. Now, Lenny Phillips is going to go for a bit of a run downfield. Corey Bell tracks across and gets him. Probably the best start the Cowboys have had since they scored. Can they make the most of it, Blair?
If we're being honest, probably not. The Cowboys' back three have actually made pretty consistent line breaks all game, as Monkey finally a second Cowboys line break. But just on Blake Harris, I think he might be being a bit harsh. The Cowboys' sort of middle defense hasn't been the best, but Harris has also had to make 17 tackles, and I think that's had him gassed, as we see the knock on there. Jack Carl makes a break, advantage taken, and he gets
a big dummy as well.
30. Oh yeah, that was filth. As Oliver back on in the prop jersey, or in the prop position.
Yeah, and perhaps I'm being a bit harsh on the Cowboys, but maybe if they made more tackles, there wouldn't be so many line breaks from the Broncos. It's a bit of a revolving door.
Harris made 17 at half time.
Yeah, he had to make 19 or 20.
Making 0 miss.
I just think that as a unit, they could just maybe link up a bit better. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at their sheet. I'm not sure what the answer is for the Cowboys. But there is a question, is what I would be alluding to.
Oh, no question of that.
As now Jack Cale on the 5th, doesn't kick. Very interesting. Do you reckon that's a ploy to try and take Lenny Phillips out of the game, or did he just run out of room?
Well, if you want to take Lenny Phillips out of the game, as Tyreek Hamilton makes a huge line break getting to the Broncos 40, there is a whole other wing you can kick to.
Yeah, he only occupies sort of one quarter of the field there on that right-hand side, but the threat of him so dangerous, they won't kick to the other 75%. It's now Jed Davis. Another line break from him, so that's the man that's pushing for a starting role. And the Cowboys in a bit of position here to do a bit of damage, should they will it. Tallis Roof brought down on the 10-metre line. They got 2 shots left, the Cowboys. Perhaps the brig spread to the right. They're thinking about it. They go to Cabal. Harris unable to do so. Can he push over? Not quite. But a chance for a kick here from Cabal. He's getting into position on the right-hand side. And he puts up what looks to be a pretty well-placed bomb. Gets back to Lucas Deuce. He beats one. Lucas Deuce. Oh, an ankle tap. Is he going to fall over the line? No. Millimetres in that from Lucas Deuce. Millimetres. That could be one that the Cowboys rue as this game goes on.
You rue every try you miss out on, of course, but I just think that was one where Cabal needed to get up again and go for the grubber. I think just basically all of the most dangerous kicks we've seen this game are grubbers. It's wet conditions, the ball's slippery. Just rolling that grubber into the in goal can give the defence absolute nightmares, as Bell makes a very nice little break before being pulled down by Lucas Deuce. Good grubber from Cabal with someone like Deuce chasing onto it would have been very hard to handle for the Broncos defence, I think, as Anthony Lee makes a break and gets it back on the inside to Huntu, beats 1, beats 2, and pulled down 11 metres out, Snicko.
Yeah, the Broncos have gone the better part of 90 metres in this set, and they put themselves in position to kick it with Dingo. Is this a crossbar? No, it's Lucas Deuce who takes it, and he was through. Instead, it's a 7-tackle set. Wow, Lucas Deuce, it's an optional restart. Maybe he just wanted to run. Anyway, Jackson Allison makes a bit of a bump off there. So maybe in the last 20 minutes, these Cowboys forwards can sort of make an impact, as Caval's pushed backwards there by 2. We've just seen the Broncos go the length. Can the Cowboys do the same to put himself in the field position? I think that's Monkey back on it, lock, exactly who it is. and he offloads it to no one. Callum Murray also back on lock. Cleans that one up. And once again, the Broncos just starting in not too bad field position. Justin plays. They might not look for a field goal just with how time is working out. They might not get to that 70-minute mark by the time this set's over. But what they can do is just pin the Cowboys in their own half like they've been doing for the last 20 minutes and make sure that when the time comes, they're in position. Like we mentioned, it will be Cahill who takes the kick should the opportunity present itself as Eddie Oliver's brought down there. But for the moment, probably too far out to bomb. They might look at one. I'm not sure. He goes to Dingo, and instead he just straight up drops it, and it means Bazinga's in the backfield. Not great from the Broncos. The Cowboys now, they're going to want to get downfield well out of their own half before the field goals start coming out.
Well, depending on how this set goes, of course, it might be across the 70-minute mark before the Cowboys get to the end of it. It's just that with what we've seen all game, in the last 10, I just think it's much more likely that the Broncos will be in field goal range. And there's always the opportunity for Levi Raymond to pull a sneaky Latrell Mitchell and kick a field goal from centre.
Yeah, not wrong, but the Cowboys now in position. They go a short ball out to Monkey, and they're just shy of that 70 minutes, so it'll probably be a bomb here. Looks like Caval's in position, and that's where they go. He puts up a bomb. That's very well placed. The winger comes down underneath it. Is he going to be pushed back? No. Instead, he goes for a bit of a run here. The Cowboys miss a chance to force a line dropout. And now we're well into field goal territory here. Both teams will be playing for field position. An error from either team will be just about deadly to their chances tonight. Hold on to your seatbelts because this one is going to go right down to the wire.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't looking that way at half-time, but they've actually brought some excitement and drama into this one as Corey Bell bends the line, but he can't quite break it. They might go for the 40-20 here, and they do from Chaz Dingo, but I think that's just let the Cowboys... Oh, hang on.
That's come off his back.
I could have sworn that came off a Cowboy and was played at.
Yeah, I think one Cowboy was playing for it, and the other one was just in the region. And now it's Lucas Deuce away. He doesn't quite have the fitness to go the distance. Eddie Oliver back on the field chases him down. But he puts the Cowboys in good position now. They go to Aaron Hunter. He goes to Hamilton. Out to Lenny Phillips. Down the sideline. Stay away from that one. They go back into Hamilton. Hamilton's away now into the backfield. Brought down another good tackle. I think that was Eddie Oliver again. It means the Cowboys are in good position here should they want to take the field goal. Hunter goes inside to Deuce. He beats one. Lucas Deuce now. Can he be the hero? No. A great tackle from Galaxy brings him down. The Cowboys, are they too close to kick it? Justin Monkey takes it. Can he barge over? Forget the field goal. They want 4 points. Justin Monkey, the captain, has stood up when his team needed him the most. Luke Short's going to send us upstairs, but for me, that is a big-time try from a big-time player.
Well, that's no doubt that's a meat pie. Just a really good, really hard barge-over try. In this second half, we have seen both the captains step up now and advantage Cowboys.
Yeah, and it could be a chance of he who scores last is going to win this one. 7 minutes left in this game. The Broncos are going to need probably 6 points. You wouldn't think Cavallo missed this if they want to stay in this competition. Because going 0-3 is not a way that you want to start the season. Personally, I have not done it, but it does not sound like fun.
It's not.
Actually, I might have done it at the Warriors first season. I'm not sure. Banish that to memory. Long term. That'll be for the therapist to unpack later on in life. Anyway, the Broncos 6 points down with 7 minutes left in this game. Cahill stepped up once. Can Corey Bell become a match winner once again for the Brisbane Broncos? Will it be Dylan Sharp for kick return? Could it be Levi Raymond out of centre? I'm not sure. There's a lot of match winners in this Broncos team. And it's an opportunity for one of them to etch their name in folklore tonight. A rivalry around in the SRL season in the balance at the moment. Who will it be? It's Jasby Zinga for the Cowboys, who's back on in that prop rotation, who takes the first hit up. The Cowboys will just want to get through this one without an error. If they can go to the end of the field. Oh, no. That is a shocker from the Broncos. Forget an error in attack by the Cowboys. It's a held-in tackle penalty. So someone's just been a bit fatigued there from the Broncos. And that is one way to sort of really let the air out of the sails for this Broncos team.
Yeah, and I think the most concerning thing in that last set leading up to the Cowboys try was as Riff gets absolutely folded. Um, Broncos player tells him to get back up before having a second dig. Was just how quickly the Broncos' defense fell off in every tackle. It just seemed that every tackle there was huge, fast post-contact meters from the Cowboys, and even that monkey try, he just kept moving through and through and through the defensive line. If Broncos come up with a defensive set like that again, we won't be talking about Golden Point. We'll be talking about Cowboys by 12.
Yeah, exactly right. And they'll probably get one set after this to have a crack, the Cowboys. The Broncos, they might get two bites of their cherry. We'll have to wait and see. And it's Eddie Lewis now down the field. Can Lucas Deuce get to him? He goose steps in, but the cover comes just in time. Should they get a line breaking out, they could go the length. And it's Anthony Lee out of half, and he beats one before a player who must have just got back on side wraps him up just short of halfway. The Broncos, they're doing this a tough way, but they're still trying to do it, that's for sure. It's Simon Hunt who's brought down a good tackle. I think that could be Riley Holmes. Actually, I don't think he's even on the field. Forget me. Anyway, Chaz Dingo, no. Chaz Dingo throws the ball straight to the ground, and it's Taylor Swift who picks it up. That could be the game for the Brisbane Broncos. 2.5 minutes left. Yeah, 2.5 minutes left, and Chaz Dingo in the unfamiliar halfback jersey, he's just thrown that one away.
Yeah, I don't know what Dingo was thinking. Did he think he had a man inside or something? Inexperience in the halves, and I guess just a bit of a rush of blood to the head, as we nearly did see the Cowboys get up 9-18 there before Pretzel got wrapped up.
Yeah, you wouldn't be shocked to see it, would you? They're really close to the line. It's going to be Caval with a double.
There it is.
Caval has just found the hole way too easily tonight. In just about a carbon copy, maybe a mirror image of that first one. He stormed over there, and that's it. 12-point win to the Cowboys, you'd have to say. And the Broncos are up 4-0. They've done all the hard work, but just a couple of lapses, and they've just let the Cowboys straight back into this one. And, well, they were too classy to not take their opportunities.
Well, the Broncos have truly snatched defeat from the jaws of victory itself this evening. They had the advantage in the first half, but just this last 10 minutes, 9 minutes ago it was 10-all. They've just completely dropped off. We were talking about Golden Point. We were talking about field goals. I thought it was advantage Broncos, but completely and utterly dropped the ball in this final 10. Carl's going to have some soul searching to do after this one, I fear.
Yeah, it's a lonely road back to the top of the ladder after you're none of three, though. I'm not sure how this round will shake up, but you have to think there'll be some teams on 6 points, and it's just an almighty gap already in the season. As now Bazinga takes a hit up for probably the third time tonight. I think that one is off the kickoff. They'll be happy with their game, as will Justin Monkey. The captain, of course, scored the try that got the go-ahead, and he's on the field for the second one. He'll be a very happy man to have got his first win of the season 10. As the hooter goes, that'll be the one that got away for the Broncos, but the Cowboys, they were valiant in their efforts, and I think that was what really got them over the line. They just hung in there all first half, and when they had the chance, took the lead emphatically in the end. Rivalry round produces another one as we look at some individual stats. Take us through them, Blair.
Well, start with Lucas Deuce. What a game. Didn't score a try, but was dangerous every time he touched the ball. Almost 200 metres there. Windmill Skeet, 23 tackles. Did miss a couple, but absolutely... He was very quiet. You felt that he was very quiet out there, but he just put in a huge amount of effort. Phillips, another one from the back three, just made line break after line break, 6 of them for Phillips in his 158 metres. Taylor Swift did more of a job out there than I realised. Hunter was rocks and diamonds. Caleb J was probably the quietest of the back three, but he was still pretty dangerous with those 4 line breaks. Monkey perhaps noticeable as the second Cowboys forward to break the line. And I do want to draw some attention to Mario McEnroe down the list. Not the hugest numbers in and of themselves, but that line break was the first line break from a Cowboys forward, and he absolutely came up with that huge tackle to force the ball and lead to that first try first try for the Cowboys, actually. It was the first try of the second half as well. Pretlove, very, very quiet one from the number 12. He spent all 80 minutes out there and just 33 metres, though he did get a job done in defence, 21 tackles, none missed. And Blake Harris, 26 tackles with a single miss as well. Caval really did step up in that second half with over 100 kicked metres. To end up on 181. I suppose we should probably take a look at the Broncos now. Lewis, 173 metres. Most of those were at hooker, though. About 60 of them from his stint at prop in the second half. Only 2 tackles is very interesting. Oh, wait, no, sorry, that's Eddie Lewis. I got Eddie Lewis and Eddie Oliver mixed up. My apologies. Dingo, 25 tackles. Is that your best use of Chaz Dingo? I just feel that he wasn't particularly creative in attack. Yes, he did come up with the try assist, but there's 3 errors to go with it. His kicking wasn't bad by any stretch, but it just felt like it lacked impact. And he made 25 tackles to Corey Bell's 18. Let's see the run meters, please, Lachlan. Justin with 168. Excellent work out of 11 there from him. Dylan Sharp, okay, 98 metres, not too bad from the winger. Lewis made less metres than his impact felt like he did. Levi Raymond, though, he was pretty crafty, particularly to get his to get his couple of dummy half runs. But yeah, just everything felt a little bit less impactful from the Broncos in the end.
A very nice summary. And so in the end, the Broncos, without their impactfulness, is that the word I'm after? I'm not sure. Falling to the Cowboys. That's it from us tonight, I believe. If there's another game and I've got my timings wrong, apologies. Otherwise, we will see you all tomorrow for some more rivalry round SRL action.